Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to, I was thinking of an acronym earlier, but I lost it. Wednesday Night Mayhem here at the CCA League. I am Mizuno, and I am joined by Grace Tugnug. Grace, how are you doing tonight?
I am so wonderful. This is like a dream come true. It is an early Christmas present / late birthday present that I am commentating here with you tonight, Mizuno. How are you doing? Are you excited? We're seeing a Div 5 freaking semifinals match here. It's playoffs. This is like the end almost. Like, I'm freaking out. This is awesome.
No kidding, Grace. It's like Thanksgiving just keeps on giving. This is do or die for these teams as the grand finals matchup is on the line here. And folks, these teams are itching and ready to go to get this started. Grace, let's take a look at these comps and what these two teams are bringing.
Indeed, indeed. It looks like on the side of Champlain, Splatoon, Cerulean, they ended the battle actually, so I lied. But they were running a pretty interesting comp there. I mean, I'm pretty sure I see them, I don't know, maybe a reflux. Oh, it just popped up reflux. That was a splash, something else, and the tri-slosher, which is a pretty fun comp. I don't know if you caught their lovely opponents, the bull sharks, and what their comp was, Mizuno?
Oh, I saw one weapon and then that was it. I don't even remember. My memory just went blank. That's okay though, folks. Unfortunately, the teams chose the wrong map there. We'll be heading into Clam Blitz Scorch Gorge here, not Mecomart. So bear that in mind. Here's the correct map list. I think the folks are a little bit too antsy to get things going, but hey, I don't blame them. I feel a little anxious here too, Grace.
I am very anxious, and I know it's like getting into that kind of late time. It's that awkward time, especially where we just came back from break and everyone's like, why did we have to come back? Why didn't they just give me an A and move on? Why do I have to have finals? Like, I get it. But Clam Blitz on Scorch Gorge, I'm happy to see it. Also happy to see Mako. We are not going to see Mako though. I'm interested to see if their comps kind of change up here. I mean, we only saw the side of Champlain's comps there, but it looks like they're going with something, yeah, pretty similar here, Mizuno.
Right, exactly. I mean, pretty aligned here, pretty typical to what we see in the community right now. So nothing too surprising for both of these teams. However, we'll get to know them very intimately as this is a best of 9 set as we kick off this first game here on Clam Blitz Scorch Gorge. Both teams playing a neutral situation with one down on the side of the Bull Sharks with an early jump for Champlain Splatoon.
Indeed, indeed. That is going to be a really, really good start here. I mean, they have a lot of clams that they're piling up. They're going to bubble here by this pillow area. But Cyan here on the tri-slosher, a really good pick, I feel, for Scorch Gorge and just in general nowadays, is going to get that pick, and they're just going to keep the picks coming. I mean, they're going to push back on them here. And I mean, we see these tri-strikes come out as well, Mizuno, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty nice push.
Indeed, indeed. This is a very scary situation, though, as we have the Champlain Splatoon here. We're in the orange, folks. We'll get the colors coordinated here in a moment. But with Champlain Splatoon kicking off the basket with 35 points, 32 points, now down and on the line with such a scary push. I mean, those clams almost came out of nowhere.
It does always feel like when you're being pushed on Clam Blitz that the clams seem to come out of nowhere and you're like, oh, they just keep scoring. It just keeps happening. That's so wonderful. And then you have to make a push now against, I mean, we see 32 remaining, which is going to be quite difficult here, Mizuno.
No kidding. Now, as we're heading into a bit of a neutral situation with the Bull Sharks in this bright blue here, looking to get this clam ball a little bit forward. Fighting desperately to get it in, and they do have a 2-down situation, and here comes the clams. We have Benadryl in the back here with the ballpoint supporting their teammates, and here comes a special with the Trizuka already launching to get some players out of that top left, and 2 go down on the side of Champlain Splatoon. I think this push can just last a little bit longer here, Grace.
And I mean, make that 3 down and 2 down on the side of Bull Sharks as well, trying to get some more points on the board here. We do see the ballpoint come in and score some more, which is going to be huge at trying to keep this push going. We see the junior as well trying to come back in, Ink here, but they do just get stomped out as well as they end up going down as well. And now to make that a 3 down situation for the Bull Sharks, this is going to be, I mean, Champlain's chance to kind of make a counter push, even though they still have the lead here, Mizuno.
Right, Grace. Even though they do have the lead here, this lead isn't safe considering how quickly the Bull Sharks were able to just churn through their points like that with just a handful of specials at hand. With that being said, Alto on the side of Cerulean Champlain, Champagne Cerulean is going to be holding onto this ball here while the Bull Sharks are going to be sharking on this top or mid area, getting a trade with that Trizuka, hoping to mitigate that damage. But it looks like the Bull Sharks are just going to barely come out on top with most of mid control here, Grace.
It was just a 2-down situation on both teams here, and I mean, we see that this Sam here is going to be ready to try and pop that hammer to try and make something happen here in mid. Both of these teams want to make a score happen. I mean, like you said before, although Champlain does have the lead right now, it is not a very steady lead because Bull Sharks is very capable of coming in and ripping it apart here, but we see them get ripped apart, and I mean, they're going to go 2 down here. We see Jupi here trying to get another push. That hammer's going to pop. I mean, the Inkjet's going to pop. The Whale's going to pop. And everyone's going down, but 3 members of Champlain end up splatted, Mizuno.
I mean, that was just a straight up bloodbath here, Grace. It was incredible, but looks like the Bull Sharks are slightly going to edge out of this one as they find and sniff out another member of Cerulean Champlain here, folks. And now it looks like Gibby here on that T-Tech looking to push the ball in with support from that bubbler. Here they come, folks, up, but oh no! Gibby dies to a bomb there, and looks like their push is going to have to be held out for just a second longer.
We see that paint support trying to come in. I mean, we see the members of, Champlain trying to come in, just drop on them to stop this push from happening. But the members of Bull Sharks were ready for it, and they were, however, not ready for that double that they just died to, which is unfortunate. Make that 3 down on the side of the Bull Sharks. And I mean, again, these pushes aren't quite getting them the lead yet, but Champlain has to be on their toes and be ready for another push. I mean, we see also here is gonna Whale trying to find the members of Bull Sharks because 30 seconds left, but we know that they're gonna try and make another push.
Right, exactly. This lead is still not safe. I mean, the Bull Sharks were able to quickly churn through most of their penalty points, which is key. That means they just need a handful more just to sustain this push. And Grace, this might be the opportunity for the Bull Sharks as that cooler is popped off and specials are online. One member goes down on the side of Champlain Cerulean, but here comes the Stamp, Grace, here to wreck things and just do the work.
And do the work indeed. And I mean, we see this tri-stringer here also doing amazing work as well, really synergizing with their teammates there on the side of Champlain to make sure that Bull Sharks does not have a chance to come in. This Whale's going to come in as well, making an amazing crossfire with Sam here on the mini. They're going to get two members of Bull Sharks and their push. I mean, it just gets completely sniffed out. They can't do anything.
And what a clutch defensive stop there with that ball popped. I think I can't do math, Grace, but I think it would have been pretty close for the Bull Sharks to kind of edge one out there. So that was a very close call there for Champlain, Splatoon, Cerulean. And what a tight matchup that was, especially with some of these fights in mid. These teams aren't afraid to just go at each other.
And they're really evenly matched when they do go at each other. I mean, every time you were like talking about it, getting in there, narrating, commentating, if you will, like what was happening, all the action, it felt like every time one person went down, another person went down, and then it was a 2v2, then it was a 3v2, and then it was just everything everywhere all the time.
Right, exactly. And just looking at this replay, I'm just reminding myself, I think Champlain only got one push in and then just played defense for 4 minutes. I don't know if that kind of speaks to the type of team style or play for the remainder of the set, but I find that incredibly interesting because defense is really tough in Splatoon. I don't know about you, Grace, but defense is always a struggle point for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I mean, especially when you're so evenly matched and you can't just kind of skill issue them, like you can't like out aim them, it's really hard on defense because you have to be so collected and precise in what you're doing. But Champlain, I mean, like we've been saying, did a really good job. The crossfires were really great. I mean, like I called out there with the Whale that helped chip in with the mini, and then they had already just gotten rampaged by the Stamp. I mean, it's just really good, really solid.
agreed. I think you calling out the whale there too is key because they know when to move in with their specials, right? The whale becomes ineffective if you don't move in with it, if you don't utilize other chip or paint to tear down at your opponents. And I think Champlain does a good job at recognizing that and realizing, okay, my teammate's going to pop this special. I'm going to now advance and move in with that special. And I think that's a really good sign for Champlain as we head into our second map mode combo of the night with Splat Zones on Barnacle and Dime.
Barnacle and Dime can be very difficult and I think a little lockout heavy at times. Oh my gosh. Sorry, the little images are so cute. I was taken aback. So cute. But yeah, like these kinds of map modes that are so lockout heavy can really show coordination because and also how evenly matched the teams are going to be as well, because if one team gets locked out right away, that can be showing of whether which team has the best opening and which team has the best coordination to go with that opening.
Right, exactly. And that will be very key as we head into our second matchup. Again, back on Barnacle and Dime. Grace, these comps? Hold on a minute. I think the Bull Sharks decided to, or excuse me, Champlain Cerulean here in the blue switched it up a bit.
I am here for it, Mizuno. Is that Vanilla Blaster?
I believe you're right. And all the wait, what was happening there?
Oh my god!
Vanilla Blaster! Grace!
Oh my god, Mizuno! Cyan here was wanting us to have a show, and again, I am totally here for it. A really out there kind of pick, paired with the Carbon, is such a power play. Super, two aggressive weapons that need a lot of paint to go with it, but they're doing so well. I mean, this opening is super oppressive.
Man, buckle up, folks. We're in for a match. Indeed, Grace. Carbon Vanilla Blaster was such an opening combo here, and hopefully those synergies will continue to work out for the remainder of the match as we're already down 50 points. Champlain Cerulean doing a really fantastic job are just keeping hold of the stone, just basically stiff arming the opponent's Bull Sharks on back just enough. Lara here on that Carbon getting a really nice pick on Allie. Grace, this is looking really good for Cerulean Champlain right now.
As you say that, though, I mean, they start to kind of give the zone back a little bit. I mean, I think that was about 2 of the members of them were going to go down there. And I mean, Bull Sharks did just lose their junior, but as I say that, Champlain's going to lose their NZAP, which is their main painter here. And I mean, it's Splat Zones, Mizuno, so if that NZAP goes down, so does the zone.
Right, exactly. So this is going to be a very interesting flip-flop of the zone situation here. Can the Bull Sharks also play defense and offense here, holding onto that zone while fending off the members of Champlain Cerulean Splatoon here? And it looks like they're going to be able to do just a good enough job here to get 2 members down and take the potential lead here as the points are quickly winding down. And all of a sudden, Grace, the tables are flipped.
Flipped indeed, and I mean, we're going to see this wave breaker go out. We're going to trade one front line from each team, but that's going to do a lot of damage to Champlain in particular because they are trying to get back into the zone. We see the NZAP here try and paint that side, but they can't quite get it. I think those 2 aggressive, not super paint efficient weapons in the Carbon and Blaster really played into that loss there, Mizuno.
Right, exactly. It's such a high risk, high reward situation. You pointed out how aggressive that can be, but you also kind of have to have the paint and the other weapons to help support it. And I think after that opener, once Cerulean Champlain was just not able to hold their ground, it was just very difficult for them to get back in once they kind of lost their key spots in stack and in that middle plat area.
Yeah, I think that with their comp specifically, I mean Champlain's, it's really, really tough to get back in, like you've been saying. And I think they were hinging off of their opening, which was an amazing opening, by the way. Huge props to them for that. I mean, they got 2 picks, then to 3, then to a complete wipe in the beginning. No way. We're going to watch the beginning right now. That's so crazy. Love replays. But I mean, yeah, like, oh, it looked like a bomb, maybe? That was actually crazy. But yeah, and I mean, as soon as that opening goes so well for you, your comp is just catered towards pushing them and keeping them locked out. But as soon as you lose it, it's hard to come back in.
Right, exactly. And I gotta say, it's incredible to just whip out Carbon and Blaster like that. Props to Champlain, Splatoon, Cerulean for just whipping that out like nobody's business. I think they could still have the confidence to go ahead and try something like crazy like that again. I think like that could have been a lot worse, all things considered. If they didn't have the right opening, that could have easily become.
Yeah, and I mean, if I'm bull squids right now, bull sharks right now, I'm gonna be thinking, when are they gonna bring out those weapons again? Because now I'm shaking in my boots that they have a Carbon and also Blaster player. Those are very polarizing weapons, I feel. It's really tough knowing that they have those weapons to play around that, but then also playing around their other weapon picks. Like we saw Cyan also has the tries in their back pocket. So I'm all for cool weapon pools like this, and I'm happy and excited to see what they're going to pull out for TC Museum, Mizuno. What are we looking at?
Saucy Matmo combo. Not much changes from the Bull Sharks on the side of Champlain, Splatoon, Cerulean. A little bit safer of a comp. We do see that Vanilla Blaster still at play, but instead of the Carbon from Lara, we're going to see those Tetras. A very exciting pick, and I think that might be able to help leverage that diversion strategy a little bit better here. But we're going to have a very interesting start here, Grace, for this opener, as one down on each side with a desperate fight for the tower in mid, as Gibby is sharking here with this junior, hoping to help ease the tower just a bit. And we're going to see the Bull Sharks getting the jump on Champlain Splatoon.
And they really need this jump here in this opening. I mean, it's such an aggressive comp that they're up against. As I say that, though, they are going to go 3 down. And the shot here. Gibby is trying to make something happen. Benadryl is also going to go down as well. I should pop a Benadryl after this to go to bed. But quite the first push here. I mean, getting it all the way down to this second-ish checkpoint. Again, it is... Whoa! Again, like a huge bloodbath like we've been seeing so far with this set here against these two teams. I mean, sure, just like get a bunch of picks with that Azuka. Why not?
Right, but I think the interesting thing is that the reason why the Bull Sharks are able to keep this push going was because of Gibby here still on tower when they were the last member down. Their teammates jumped right in after them and trusted Gibby's calls there to say, hey, let's do this and let's go back in. Here comes Gibby again on the junior, able to get a trade out, but nonetheless, the tower is going to flip back into Champlain Splatoon's favor here. Alto here on that charger, trying to kind of shake out any picks that they can and stiff arm the members of the Bull Sharks back a bit here.
Benadryl?
Is Benadryl okay?
Benadryl? Hello? Oh, someone just flew. Someone just flew in there.
No. Here we go. Alright, DC time.
Well, they, I don't know. You're the TO. I don't know.
I'm the TO here. This is time for me to pull up the rule set. I believe because the Bull Sharks were able to actually push this down to 24, there is no replay. This game counts. The rule is if you push down to 30. So unfortunately here, we're going to see a really unfortunate bloodbath here. Champlain Splatoon is going to take this one from an unfortunate DC due to the rule set. Ay.
I know different places have different DC rules, you know, like I'm an SOS head and we changed it like a while ago. I don't remember. It's been a long time where if you're the team in the lead and you instant replay of that DC. I can't wait to see that person fly again. That was my favorite part. That if you're the team in the lead with the DC, then you get to replay it because you know, it's sad. Oh, they're flying. There they go.
Replays. We love to see them. I mean, the Bull Sharks had a really great push at the start here. They were able to get it so far, but at the cost of when the DC occurs, Ah, man, how unfortunate.
Yeah, it's gotta sting. You're like, oh my gosh, now we just have to defend or make another push. And then your buddy's like, actually, I just blew up my Switch. And everyone's like, no! No!
Right, exactly. Well, folks, hang tight as the teams kind of get resituated here. I'm sure that we're trying to make sure we get the players back and also ensure that, you know, this is the result and making sure that things go accordingly. But yeah, Grace, DCs suck. I trust me, I do not want to see one either.
Yeah, it always stings. I mean, and it's always a little awkward to watch too because sometimes one team doesn't know that the replay's not gonna happen and they're like, "Oh, let's just sit and spawn and then it'll be okay." And it's like, "No. No, it's not okay." So, listen, let's try to put our happy faces back on and get ready for our fourth game here, which is going to be Rainmaker on Crab Leg Capital. What are you thinking here?
Crab Leg Capital is such an interesting map to me just because it feels like a weirder, like a more weird Maki in a way, just because of the grades. And I just never. I always have such a struggle on this map if I don't play with a really good backline. I don't know if you've struggled with that either, but I feel like if I don't have a solid anchor, I feel like I'm scrambling and I'm just completely left vulnerable. So I'm wondering if that might also come into play for these two teams.
Yeah, I mean, especially because the Grays are just such an amazing way for the opponent's backline to approach you, and anyone to approach you, honestly, that you really want a backline that's able to contest them and not have to risk their life going on the Greats to approach them. I also find that Crab Leg can be a little lockout-ish, like, sometimes. So I'm interested to see if Champlain kind of wants to go with that, like, blaster carbon thing again. To be like, oh yeah, we're in there, ooh, and it's not zones this time, so we don't have to paint. And then maybe they KO it right at the start or something crazy like that. But we saw how Bull Sharks responded, and they kind of played the patient game and outpainted them and waited for them to show their cracks in their strategy a little bit. I'm interested to see if we see that again. I am interested.
Right, exactly. And I think this will be really interesting for how these teams choose the compositions going forward with how Champlain sometimes utilizes different compositions and how that'll kind of play into the different types of map modes going forward. Do they feel still comfortable with going with more abstract picks, or are they looking to perhaps change it up a bit? Let's see here, folks. Hold on, I'm getting word here. I think some folks are interpreting the rule set a little bit differently here.
We may or may not be seeing a replay. Mayhaps, mayhaps not. But you know what I'm about to see? This person fly up in the air again. Am I right, people? I'm ready for the clip. Yes, yes, there they go. It's always my favorite whenever somebody's... So yeah, oh my god, we're about to see it again. Folks, this is the best match I've ever commentated, I think, ever. I love when it happens like this. And I like how Benadryl is the POV that we watch in the clip as well, where they're just shooting forever off into the distance. That is how I feel when I myself have popped Benadryl. That's how I feel.
No, I feel that so hard. Like, I've taken so much Benadryl in my life, though, that I think it started to wean off a bit. Like, you know, that drowsiness effect. I feel like that's not as strong as it used to be. Is that
a good or bad thing?
I don't know. I guess it depends when you actually take Benadryl.
This is true.
Either way, I think I think some of the folks are still trying to try to get the things situated here. I do not remember the rule set this moment of time, just because I'm commentating and focusing on commentating in the stream here, but hopefully the two captains here are working it out through the rule set. I mean, hey, I get it, rule sets are tricky, like when you actually have to apply it in time. it takes a second.
Yes.
All right, I believe both conditions have been met for a replay, from my understanding, according to the captains.
I'm here for it. I'm always here for it. Hopefully, hopefully not, depending on what the lovely people at home would like to see. We will not have to see somebody fly through the air again, although that was a lovely sight.
It was an amusing sight. It was. I love that when it happens, you get to actually see it now from this point of view. Previously, remember on Splatoon 2, you didn't have the luxury of doing that? Oh, I love it. Oh, they just went flying. Oh, that's hilarious. Alrighty, folks. I think things are finally getting situated here. Both conditions have been met for the replay.
Very, very nice. And I assume here that we're going to be seeing the same comps, right?
Yes, compositions would stay the same here. Regardless, just because that part of the match has been played out, so we should not be seeing any changes. So this will be a very interesting replay, just because both teams are at even ground at this point, sitting at 1-1. So it's a good redo, at least for the side of Bull Sharks with their own lead state. So this will be an interesting replay for sure, just because I think both teams had a minute to fill each other out with those compositions.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw those crazy plays come out from Gibe, which I wonder, I would like to know if that is an iCarly reference. I would like someone to confirm nor deny, possibly in the chat or in my DMs. No,
Yes.
it should be. You're right. It should be.
It better be a reference. I mean, why can't we just say it is a reference? Nothing can tell us otherwise.
And then every time we say their name, we have to be like, give it!
Give it!
Very good.
Folks, we are heading into the replay now as both conditions have been met. Same compositions coming out here, so no surprises here. The rollout, however, there may be some micro adjustments here based off of what we had seen the first time around. So this would be very important to consider as we head into the first few seconds of the match here, with Lara already zoning in on Inker, but actually falling to Gibe!
Gibe!
At that moment! And unfortunately, Gibe goes down at that moment, and here comes the Bull Shark storming through that first checkpoint as if this wasn't a replay.
Oh my golly goodness, we are seeing quite the run of things here. Benadryl is going to go down to also here on this E-later, which I didn't realize this pick before is very interesting. Only the ballpoint is going to be left here, I mean, on the side of Bull Sharks, and their push is stomped out a little bit sooner than it was in that first game that we saw there before the replay.
Right, exactly. And as we're having a neutral situation here with Starry Sam looking to get a picking opportunity, backing out wisely, both of these teams are kind of just feeling each other out as Champagne Cerulean here is looking to just quietly edge this tower bit by bit as they're able to get a good couple picks in. And you see Benadryl here also on that inkjet going down, so that is a 3-down situation with 3 people coming back from spawn on the side of the Bull Sharks.
Bull Sharks is probably coming into this real angry. They're ready to fight and to keep their lead that they wanted from the game that we saw before. I mean, before this replay here. We see Inker here is going to be on the tower. As I say that, they did leave, though. Gibe is going to fight Lara here on the Tetris in mid. Is going to go down to Benadryl, though. And it is, again, like we've been saying, such a back-and-forth fight. And now the tower fight is going to go down to Alto.
Great pick from Alto, looking to get a second, but unsuccessful there in their endeavors. Nonetheless, Cyan is looking to take after this play here, but goes down to a 2v1 situation here. So really good plays on both of these teams, but they haven't just found that correct edge yet. You know, just to get them right through that first checkpoint fully and completely yet, Grace. Here comes the Bull Sharks here with another attempt. With 2 down, Grace, this might be their opportunity.
I think you're right here, Mizuno. I mean, we see these Tetris here trying to fight Gibe over here, and Sam as well, but they're going to get pincered there. Amazing teamwork, again, like we've been seeing from Champlain doing an amazing job collapsing in on their opponents, and I mean, they're really great at making those crossfires as well. We do see the junior here, Inker, is going to go down to Alto with a great shot. I mean, on the E-leader, we've been seeing great shots from them all game. I think that was another pick from them as well. And the Tower Riders of Bull Sharks are struggling.
Right, exactly. But man, this is exactly what you can ask for here for the Bull Sharks. With Gibby getting a wipeout! Nice job, Gibby. And they are able to stay alive to get their teammates back into the action here. Great. So this is a really good sign for the Bull Sharks to potentially consider a knockout.
I am also potentially considering a knockout, but it looks like Sam here on Champlain has other ideas. Gibby is going to go for a fight here in mid and get them, and Sam as well is going to go down here to Benadryl. It looks like their push is just started right back up. They've got specials online, and I mean, they just popped that Zuka to kind of stop them from coming back in, but we see Lara here on the Tetras trying to make something happen, getting a pick, but the Inkjet's going to, and the Bubble's going to come out, and that's just a KO. I mean, a Bubble on tower, what are you going to do?
Man, the Bull Sharks, not phased at all from the DC, is able to clutch out on the replay. But I don't think Champlain Splatoon should be too worried after that matchup. I think once the ball got tumbling, they just weren't able to clear out the members of the Bull Sharks clearly from their plat, and then it was just able to tumble from there. So, still a very tight matchup for the first couple of minutes there. I wouldn't be too worried if I were Champlain Splatoon right now.
Yeah, I think similarly, their comp had a little bit of a painting problem on the side of Champlain, and I think especially when you're up against a Shot, a Zap, a Junior, and a Ballpoint who paints pretty well, it can be so tough. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Inker there in that match. Watching these replays, it's really clear to me how great their bubble plays were. Really aggressive and great at kind of luring in the members of Champlain to like be like, okay, step into my ring, and then as soon as they step into your ring, they die because they're like, oh, Junior, free kill. Nah, not for Inker. Nah.
Great plays from the Bull Sharks with several standout performances. I mean, it was very clearly obvious that they were once that Gibby was able to stay alive, they were able to just continue on with their pushes. And they just had some really great standout plays that were able to help continue their pushes going forward. So, really great stuff from the Bull Sharks. Really exciting, Grace. I mean, that was just like really solid.
It was really solid. I feel like the whole game they had a really firm grasp on the objective. I feel like they were getting a lot of picks, they were taking a lot of very smart fights and getting the members of Champlain to kind of walk into them, like I talked about with those bubble plays with Inker there, but all of their members were really good at cross-firing the members of Champlain and putting them in yeah, that word. Yes, many words. Kind of vulnerable positions to where they could easily get picked off and crossfire them. Crossfire is the vocabulary word of the week. I am your teacher. You are back in elementary school. Crossfiring is so crossfiring is so great and crucial, and is really kind of how you can tell very coordinated teams versus not so coordinated teams.
Ma'am, yes ma'am, I am listening to the teacher here. Miss Grace says so otherwise. You can't go against a teacher.
Yeah, I'm so smart. I definitely didn't steal this from a coach or anything.
Well, nonetheless, what Grace says, whatever Grace says, it is so. We are moving on, folks, to Game 4 here. Rainmaker on Crab Leg, the map that I do not like. Looking at these comps, Grace, the Bull Sharks gonna rock with what they've been rocking with, and we're gonna see some really nice alterations here on the side of Champlain Splatoon.
Indeed, Cyan here, they're rocking that, I forget, is it called like the beak? Hold on. Somebody will know. Somebody will know. I love that gear piece. I think it's so fun. Oh! That might have been a bomb kill or the shield kill. am not sure here, but it's looking like a pretty even opening from both teams here in Mizuno. I mean, we're going to see that Zuka pop, which is going to get that sniper there, which is going to be so crucial in pushing this Rainmaker. So hopefully Bull Sharks can grab it here and make something happen, but Cyan is here to kind of stop them from doing so.
Right, exactly, and I think with Cyan here on this shift, and as well as just the general adjustments from this weapon composition, I think the paint will help play into Champlain Cerulean's favor here as Cyan is making a first grab at the Rainmaker. Here comes the Tri-Strikes to pop that Rainmaker shield in hopes of maybe sneaking it into the podium, but there are too many members of the Bull Sharks just guarding and hounding that Rainmaker as Inca proceeds to pick it up.
And it's going to be a pretty good idea there, I think, for Anchor in specific to pick it up, because you're going to... Cyan! Cyan, what are you doing there? Okay, Benadryl got them. That's okay. 2v2 situation kind of going on here. Gibbe is going to opt to go onto the grates there to make their push because they did not want to mess with that ballpoint, or excuse me, with that charger there. But they are still going to go down, and I mean, their push is over for right now. I mean, Cyan, though, is going to be the one to pick up the Rainmaker, which is going to give Bull Sharks a bit of an edge on their own aggression.
Right, exactly. Shoutouts to Alto there with that vac for stopping that push from the damage being done here, as Cyan is able to quickly take that Rainmaker to the podium and get the checkpoint. Gets 2 picks while they're at it. Have yourself a game, Cyans. They're going ahead and taking the Rainmaker themselves. They want to do everything for this team here, Grace.
And listen, they have been doing that very well. I mean, we've seen that so far in this set. But I think what Champlain kind of needs here now is a special to push them forward and get into Bull Sharks' plat. And I think that this ink vac could be their chance. I mean, they're sitting here with it. They're going to pop it and get... It looks like a few picks there. And I mean, it looks like it's just going to be Benadryl here on this ballpoint trying to make something happen. But they're going to get pincered by the members getting 1 down. But Potato is just going to go and get it to 28 remaining. And it looks like the members of Champlain are going to keep the aggression up.
What a great play from Cyan to pincer in like that. They came in all the way from that far left side bridge onto their plat, and that was the moment that they needed for Potato to jump in with that Rainmaker and get a ginormous lead. The lead is not safe in Rainmaker, however, but it's still going to help the members of Champlain's Splatoon feel a little bit more comfortable. Nonetheless, the Bull Sharks aren't fazed by it, and they're going to quickly secure that first checkpoint. But at what cost? With 3 members down, it's just good old Gibbe here alone against the world right now, Grace.
It is the world indeed, and I mean, we see the members kind of jumping back in, coming in back through spawn. They're going to get a really good pick there on their charger, which is really going to help. And I mean, we see the Booyah Bombs coming out. They're going to trying to get some more specials. Inker here is going to try and run and make a cheeky play there, which almost worked. I was about to freak out. I really thought that was going to work there, but I mean, the members of Champlain were ready for it, I think. It looks like Alta here was going to try to reset the Rainmaker, but couldn't quite do it. The members of Bull Sharks collapsed in on them and stopped them from doing so.
Right, exactly. And I mean, with them trying to take it out here, they're trying to find a way to drop it off somewhere safe, but they're still at a fairly vulnerable position here with just not enough room to kind of help get that Rainmaker out. The members of the Bull Sharks are still on this Rainmaker. The Trips are coming in here just at the nick of time, though, to help corner the members of the Bull Sharks with a 2v1 situation happening in this lower left court area, with Jupi coming out on top with a little bit of extra support, but it looks like Gibbe is going to grab that Rainmaker, and with the help of Benadryl, they're going to take it over to this right bridge side.
Cyan here is not going to let that happen, though. They're going to trade out with that Rainmaker, which is so crucial. I mean, it's just Inker here trying to get this pop, but they are a junior, so everyone is shaking in their boots trying to outpaint them. 2 members, though, of Bull Sharks are going to go down here. We see Jupi trying to get a pick, and they are going to trade out. So crucial there, because if Jupi was alive there, they could have gotten so many, I mean, jump-ins, they could have gotten a bunch of teammates and applied a lot of pressure, which could have been the end, of their lead.
Right, exactly. And what a clutch play from Jupi. I think they swooped in to get at least 2 kills from those jumps, maybe even a 3rd. And that play definitely was able to help secure their lead and get Splatoon Cerulean back into this match, sitting at 2 apiece for this set.
Ooh. It's been really back and forth. I love sets like this. We're gonna get some really nice Cyan gameplay from the opening here, and I mean, we just saw how aggressive and ready they were to push that Rainmaker. And I want to give a shout out to this play that I'm seeing here. We didn't mention it before, but Jupi here was ready to get Starry there on that end zap from getting their teammate. And although they could not defend them from Gibbe, it just goes to show that Champlain is always ready to coordinate with each other and help each other and not just kind of be like, well, it's your fault for running the Rainmaker like that. It's like, no, even if my teammate makes like a, very courageous play, I'm not gonna like abandon them. I'm just gonna support them in it.
That's such a good saying, Grace. I love that. Just because you might question it in the moment, but you still have the support because that's what they decided in that moment. That was their call and their decision making, and try to you gotta make the best out of the situation at the end of the day. And I think both of these teams do a really good job of helping their teammates whenever they can. You see, for example, Gibby here with, Gibby with Trizuka trying to help trying to help Starry Sam take the Rainmaker to that podium. Just little things like that, I think, really demonstrate how strong these teams are in actually doing team play. And it's really nice to see.
Yeah, and I mean, we've been talking about the lovely vocab word of the day, crossfiring. Both of these teams are really, really great at it, but Mizuno, it is indeed battle time, as the lovely game Splatoon 3 on the Nintendo Switch has said to us. It's Clam Blitz here on Eeltail, which is going to be very interesting. And I mean, I see Benadryl here on this, on this ballpoint again, which I suspected, as it is Eeltail here. And we're looking to see a pretty similar comp come out of Champlain as well. You know, the try, splash, the Tetra's making a return though, and then the shot.
I really like this comp from Champlain Splatoon here, just because now they have the distractions and they have the paint to support to support those distractions and those playmakers. We saw those pretty controversial picks earlier, just not having enough paint support, but now there's a little bit more paint support for them to actually do their thing. So I'm really excited here as we have a really solid start here for Champlain Splatoon with Alto on this top right area tossing that Trizuka out, trying to distract Benadryl on this left side. Lara with the ball here, able to get a pick, and they're able to pop the basket wide open. However, they're going to stop short and no other clams are in sight, and the members of Champlain Splatoon are going to fall back.
Tough opening here. I mean, we did see that power clam go in, but they couldn't quite follow up off of it. I mean, you basically just gave your opponents here a free power clam, which does sting a little bit, especially when we see the aggression come out of Bull Sharks here. And I mean, it does look like Champlain is ready to make a push of their own whenever the opportunity shows itself, but now it's going to be I said 2v2, but now it's going to be a 3v2 here. A lot of trading going on here. I am at a loss for words here, Mizuno. This is crazy.
Right, exactly. I'm at a loss for words too. I'm like hypnotized watching this. I mean, there's just so much going on with both of these teams right now. A constant back and forth. We see Starry Sam with a ball, and we have, I think, another player with the ball too that just got dropped here. So it looks like the members of the Bull Sharks are going to be juggling two balls right now as they try to find a way to ground themselves. However, to no avail. Champlain Splatoon here is going to come storming in here. Lara getting a really nice pick. Here comes the clams, but a bomb! Grace, did you see that rogue splat bomb? That was able to help stop the bleeding just a bit.
I am always here for rogue splat bombs, because even though you think that they're rogue, they always have intention most of the time. And then like the one bomb that you do that isn't with intention, you got like a double, and you're like, I meant to do that. I'm like really good at, It's okay. It's what every single player thinks. I know, because it is me. I am one. We are gonna see Champlain here is going to try and make another push happen, but it looks like that inkjet there, I mean, on the side of Bull Sharks has always been super on point, and we're gonna see it again. And we're gonna see Inker here is gonna go for that sneaky play again with those aggressive bubbles, but they did not quite get a pick off of it. It's, again, a huge back and forth, a huge bloodbath. There's paint flying everywhere in Mizuno, and I don't know what's happening.
But man, the teamwork between Gibbe and their teammates here with Inker and Gibbe putting that crossfire moments into action to clear out that bridge area was so good. Because look at that now, all of a sudden the clams are flying in for the bull sharks right now. And they also have a ball in hand. Starry Sam is clutching onto a ball. I think they're looking for an opportunity to jump in perhaps here. Or looks like not. I stand corrected. Looks like they're going to hold back since there's no more support from their teammates. But nonetheless, Grace, they got it down to 32 points now. A nice substantial lead here, but still not safe from Champlain Splatoon.
Champlain here is going to take out 2 members of the Bull Sharks. They're going to back up a little bit. We see the members of Bull Sharks, I mean Starry Sam, and now Benadryl here is going to inkjet. The members of Champlain are going to try to bait out this inkjet a little bit, trying to run around and scatter a bit. Oh, and the bomb is going to get the recon of the inkjet, which is going to be huge. The members of Champlain here are playing like a unit, and they're getting a lot of ticks to go with it. They're going to get in 2 power clams, which is going to be huge, but not quite enough to get the lead yet. Those Tetras are their only chance to get in some more points. As I say that, Jupi here is going to jump in and not quite get the lead. Laura has to get, I think, 1 more clam in and they get the lead, but they go down to that Ink Zuka from Gibbe. Cyan is going to come... Never mind.
Oh, and that's such an unfortunate situation because of that reef slider. I don't think Lara realized that there was a clam right behind them, just right behind that little hunk on the podium. And I was gonna call that out, but oh no, here comes Jupi with a power ball. Oh my god! Where did they come from, Champlain? They just pulled it out of a magic hat, and all of a sudden, they just knocked down the Bull Sharks lead to 17-32. It was like a magic trick right in front of our eyes.
And Lara's gonna keep this magic going. I mean, they got a member of the Bull Sharks just when they thought that it was safe and they were ready to come back in and get some paint down in mid. Lara here, as well as their teammates, I mean, they got 2 down. The members of Champlain, I mean, they are just... They are not going to let Bull Sharks even have a safe time in mid. Cyan's going to get an amazing double here, make that almost a triple, getting some chip damage here on Benadryl with that power clam. And there's just no way that the Bull Sharks can make a push off of that. Oh my gosh, Mizuno.
Oh my gosh, indeed, Grace. That was incredible. I'm like stunned. Seriously, I think we need Jorian on our streamer. Get that replay going, bestie. We need to see where those balls came from because they just appeared out of nowhere. I don't even know how they formulated them so quickly. Okay, here comes Jupi with the first one.
I just had a moment in my brain, Mizuno. It's called the bleak beak. That's what it's called. Oh.
Oh no.
Oh, sorry to burst your bubble.
Oh no. Here to rain on our parade. Oh, it's maintenance.
Oh, Jupi, don't change the song. Jupi, no. Jupi. Jupi. Jupi, no.
I don't.
No.
They didn't hear us.
Gibbe!
That's who we were missing!
How could we forget Gibbe?
Oh, praise be. We have everything on lock now. The stage is set. We have been at this for, I think, we have to check back stream, but I remember seeing the clock at like maybe 7:40, 7:45 p.m. Eastern. Grace, we've been at this for over an hour.
Oh, indeed. I did not see that I did not envision my night going this way, but I welcome it nonetheless.
The stream's been going on for 2 hours according to Jordan.
2 hours?
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
I bet everyone's questioning, like, so what's happened in this match? I stepped away to go eat dinner. They come back and it has not moved.
It has not moved. They come back in while I'm talking and I'm like, yeah, so my bird, she like lays eggs, and they're like, what? They're like, what? It's okay.
Well, folks, we're finally back at it. You're not seeing things. We're actually back at it with the game. We have the Bull Sharks out of South Florida taking on Champlain Splatoon out of Champlain College. And we're heading into game 6. We're actually starting this thing. Splat zones, Flounder Heights. Grace, let's take a look at these comps. Let's get back into it.
Indeed, indeed. I think that is probably the same comp that they have been running on the side of Bull Sharks there, you know, with that tri-shooter and then Benadryl on that lovely, lovely ballpoint splat lane. Cyan here, as I suspected, going for that tri-slosher, and you suspected as well, Mizuno, that sloshing machine as well, and then double Neo Splash. They are coming in hot into this match, already getting one down, although Cyan on the tri-slosher is going to trade out here. One of the members, Jupi here, is running for their life, kind of reconvening back in mid, but it's a standoff a bit. Picks are going back and forth, but nobody quite has hold of the zone yet.
Right, exactly. I really like these picks from Champlain Splatoon, having the double splash, because that's double trips, if I recall correctly here, Grace. So when you have that double trip action, you can lock out both of these zones fairly quickly just because the map size with where the zones are is just so small. Nonetheless, Champlain has a really good start here with 2 specials online. Here comes Inker getting a really nice solo 1v1 pick, but nonetheless, here comes the trips, hoping to scope out Inker, but they're not able to do so. Inker is storming in to avoid the booyah, but goes down to Potato with a great pinching opportunity. And man, the Bull Sharks are down 3 for the count, Grace.
These tri-strikes here are going to be really, really great on defense and offense. I mean, we talked about how the tri-slosher and sloshing machine are so great on those walls, but the strikes as well can pick people off on the wall. That's why they're so strong here, and they opted to go double splashed, I presume here, Mizuno, but they're trying to get back into the zone here. We see the Bull Sharks pop a few specials, but the members of Champlain are ready with some specials of their own, and the Bull Sharks are going to go 2 down.
Right, and thankfully, the Bull Sharks are able to neutralize the zone just a tad bit longer, so we see some more gameplay. We see Inker storming up on this right side, but gets called out by 3 members of Champlain Splatoon. Now, these teams are trying to hold down the fort desperately. The Bull Sharks just able to neutralize the zones just a little bit longer to stay in the action because they need to get that penalty down ASAP. Otherwise, Champlain is going to continue to wind down those points, and thankfully, the Bull Sharks are able to clutch it out with those really clutch bazookas there. Oh. And there's the wipe. Oh my gosh, Grace, we're seeing a sudden flip.
Champlain here has that defense down, and I mean, they already have they have both of their strikes are ready again, Mizuno. Those Neo Splashes are not playing around. I mean, we see them just sitting here waiting for them to come up on the side of the Bull Sharks. They want to try to get some specials of their own online right now, but they don't quite get them yet. We see the Judy is going to go down to Jupi here, and they're going to get pinched by Jupi as well, and they can't quite get them out of there. The time's ticking down, and their penalty's gone, so they're starting to score some more points here, Mizuno. They have to get in, like, now.
They got to get in ASAP, Grace. And here comes Benadryl getting a really nice clutch pick on that Inkjet. That was the exact thing that the Bull Sharks need to stay in this game before the clock hit 0. Here comes Starry Sam with that Junior trying to hopefully get the other zone, but to no avail. Here comes Gibby on that T-Tech, and nothing is able to come out of it. The defense from Champlain Splatoon is just too mighty, too strong. And Champlain Splatoon is able to take that game up now 4-2 in the set.
It is so hard to get back in on, I mean, zones flounder in general, because the mid is the high ground, and that's what makes it such a tough map and why people have been not liking it so much. I think also the like walls part throws people off as well, but that high ground is tough to beat. I mean, we see them here kind of at this beginning bit. As soon as all those members go down, you have to give up ground, unfortunately, which means you are giving up that high ground. I mean, we see Jupi over there coming over on the side to get a few picks as well, and we see Inker here on the Junior getting a nice pick too in this replay, trying to get the zone back, but it's a tough battle, especially with all of those strikes, and they had double the amount of strikes with those splashes, Mizuno.
Not to mention the Booyah Bomb too. So you have these 3 specials that just surround areas with pain. And that works out so well when there's just these really specific pain points that you just have to kind of flush out at the end of the day. So really good call here by Champlain Splatoon to pull out this composition here. It really paid off in their favor.
Yeah, I'm very into it. I think a lot of the time when you go double something, it's usually because you just want the special, I would say. like you want the special and you also want the killing power of whatever weapon that it is. Like whenever people run double shot, sometimes triple shot, unfortunately. You do
Oh
see it.
man.
I just saw Cyan there. It took it took two Zuka shots to take them out. I think that definitely stunted their retake a bit there, which definitely it stinks when we're seeing this meta where you die to random Zuka shots, but then also when you're using Zuka, the people you aim at don't die. It's just like why?
Oh, do you know what's so foul, Grace?
Oh my gosh.
One time in tournament, I think it was an SOS in the past maybe month or so, I played against a team where, I kid you not, they played 2 T-Techs and 2 Carbon Rollers. And they played, so quad Zuka.
Oh,
It was the most foulest match I've ever played in my life.
I would just be scared to be anywhere.
It was we took that set 2-1, but barely, because there was just Zukas everywhere. And because the T-Techs could paint just enough, that would help the Carbons just a little bit longer. So every time I see more than 2 or 3 Zukas, I instantly go into shock. I'm like,
Fight or
absolutely
flight.
not. I'm like fight or flight, adrenaline spiking. I need to get out. Absolutely not. Do not want to see it again ever.
It is very awful. But Mizuno, we're going going into game 7 here. This is match point here for Champlain. So if they can pull this off, tower control, Hagglefish market here, they will clutch out this semifinal set. What are we looking at, Mizuno? What are these comps?
We're seeing some slight adjustments here. We see Starry Sam now on the Vanilla Blaster here. Meanwhile, Cyan has flipped over to T-Tech, and we see a mini. Is that a Zinc mini? So a Zemi out of Sam here. So very interesting changes from both of these teams. Not that we've seen anything from them in terms of awkward picks here, but just interesting to see, since considering, again, these teams are also kind of playing a little bit cold right now, you could argue, with the update happening in between their sets. So I think that could also be playing a factor into some of the decision making and plays being made here by both of these teams.
Very good point. I didn't even think about that, Mizuno, that they're cold, and if they had a warm-up scrim before this, it might have worn off by now. I mean, you're just kind of sitting here having to listen to the both of us talk here while we waited for maintenance to be over. And Anchor here is going to go down. I mean, with their junior being down, there's no bubble. Oh, my bad. There is a blaster, so there is going to be a bubble, but they're also going to get sniffed out there. The ballpoint, the junior, and the blaster are going to be respawning soon, which is going to be good news, I mean, for the Bull Sharks, but not great news for their push, because it's pretty much already over.
Right, but the Bull Sharks were able to get pretty far. 44 points is nothing to sneeze at. With that first checkpoint blazed through, now they only have to worry about that second, and then the tower is just like butter. It'll just glide on through. Nonetheless, here comes Benadryl with this inkjet, but it's going to get pinched. Very great play here from Splatoon, from Champlain Splatoon, as they make their way through that first checkpoint. Did you see that bomb, Grace?
Oh, I saw that bomb. I am a big fan. I'm a big fan of Inker's bombs this set. I mean, they're always so on point, and they're not rogue. I promise. They're always with intention here. They're going to try and break that checkpoint, but they can't quite get there. I think this is going to come back to be really great for Bull Sharks in that they stopped Champlain from getting that checkpoint, that first checkpoint there. And I mean, it's going to be really good for them. But as I say that, they're going to get completely wiped by the members of Champlain, and they're coming in hot. They want that checkpoint. They were like, no, Grace, we want it right now. And
right. Listen here, they say. Here comes Juki with those trips, able to sniff out some members of the Bull Sharks. But oh my goodness, Grace, out of nowhere, the Bull Sharks are able to wipe them out like a snap, like a Thanos snap. Like that just happened out of nowhere.
They expertly collapsed in on them, and I mean, especially with that first checkpoint, it is so easy to do that. What the Cyan with the Zuka double, which is insane here. And I mean, we see Jupi is going to try to dive onto that tower to try and get the members down, but they can't. It is really unfortunate that the members of Champlain weren't able to follow up on that really good double there, Mizuno, and the points are starting to tick down.
Right, exactly. With that second check down, this third check is just like butter. It'll just glide on through. Benadryl getting out 2 great picks on that inkjet, and that is going to sustain this push because Benadryl's teammates are on the way. There comes Gibby with the jump, able to come in with their teammate Starry Sam. So while that tower is slowly wandering away, there is just a lot of orange on the field right now, Grace.
Ooh. And I mean, the members of Champlain are definitely hurting to have some more paint. Like you said, it is completely orange right now. They already got this last checkpoint down. The members of Champlain are diving onto this tower to stop the push. But, I mean, 3 members just went down on the side of Bull Sharks, but they're coming back in. They're jumping to each other, keeping this push going. I forget the term. It's like zombie pushing, where you just keep jumping back in to keep the momentum up. That bubble's going to come out, though, and I think that's going to be the end of that insane, crazy push from Bull Sharks here, making it all the way down to 7 remaining Mizuno. That is no easy feat.
It is not great, especially with how cutthroat both of these teams have been. That is the push that the Bull Sharks need to stay in this set. Keep in mind, we're at match point, folks, so the Bull Sharks are doing everything in their power to stay alive in this set and hopefully bring that margins back into their favor. Nonetheless, Champlain Splatoon are not going to give in that easily. Here comes a set of trips. And here comes Champlain Splatoon on the towers. They make their first attempt to push with a bubbler and 1 member down from the Bull Sharks.
Oh my golly goodness. Champlain here. They went 2 down again. I mean, during their push, it seems like they're having a lot of trouble kind of sustaining the pushes that they're setting out to do. And the Bull Sharks are really great at outpainting them in the areas that the members of Champlain want to control in those moments. I think it's going to be tough here for Champlain to come back from this. I mean, time's ticking down. There's going to be jumps on the tower, but the members of Bull Sharks collapse in on Sam and just take that tower right out from under them.
Man, a lot was happening on that right side alley. Gibby! Preventing Champlain Splatoon from pushing that tower past that first checkpoint. Gibby! Causing a lot of chaos on that right side and preventing the tower from getting any further. I think that was another big roadblock for Champlain there. They just weren't able to get past that first checkpoint. They didn't have the specials and the right placements to get through.
Ooh. I mean, again, if you're Champlain right now, you know that you're at match point even so you have a lot of leeway to make mistakes and have matches where you kind of just have to feel it out, maybe get a little bit de-rusted like we were talking about with that very lovely maintenance that we had to sit through.
Right, exactly. That point about de-rustment is going to be so key here because the Bull Sharks just took a really unfortunate loss coming back from maintenance in that game 6 on Zone's Flounder. But they were playing this match as if there wasn't a maintenance update, as if they were playing the set as is. Great team coordination. They had great synergy. They knew when to continue their push. They didn't falter on defense, even after that wipeout here. That would be alarm bells going off in my head, but they were still able to succinctly protect that tower and not prevent it. They didn't even get through the first checkpoint, Grace. I mean, this was some great gameplay from the Bull Sharks.
Yeah, I mean, like we were talking about, once it's past that first checkpoint and then the second checkpoint, that tower is just going to keep on going unless you stop it. And it's really hard to stop it once it gets to that point, especially on Hagglefish. I mean, we saw there that they were even trying to keep it going more. We see Benadryl pushing that tower. Gibby is going to jump in there, but they just can't quite make something happen. But they were ready for it. And as we've seen, Bull Sharks are always ready for a challenge.
Indeed, Grace. With that being said, though, this is still Champlain Splatoon's set to take. They still are at match point with the set sitting at 4-3. Grace, I know as a competitive player, I'm sure you've been in experiences like this before, where you're up in the set, but you're still kind of teetering. How would you feel right now in the shoes of Champlain Splatoon?
I would be sweating quite a bit. Especially after coming off of such a really great win as well from, Champlain. They did really great on Flounder Heights. So I think that they are just sweating a little bit, but I don't think that they will be too shaken up. I think we'll definitely see see them fight back a little bit more here on Rainmaker on Manta Maria, which is such a fast-paced, I mean, Rainmaker map, which is saying something because we know how fast Rainmaker is. I assume we're gonna see that Tri-Slosher again, but what do you think we're gonna see comp-wise? I mean, they're probably gonna ready up before we can even talk about it, Mizuno, but what are you thinking?
I mean, I'll make an attempt. The Bull Sharks, I think they're going to stick to what they know. They've been running the kind of the same 3-gun with a ballpoint comp, very standard and easy to work with. For Champlain, I can see, I believe it's, this is tricky. I think Cyan will remain on that Tri-Slosher just because it could do so well on that bunker area and on flanks. But for the rest of the team, I'm not sure how it's going to shake out, to be honest. And honestly, we're about to find out, Grace. I don't want to speculate any further. I want to know.
I want to look at it with my eyeballs. I mean, and as we say that, we see what?
What the what? Indeed.
What are these weapons I've never seen before? We see Starry Sam coming out on the blaster. I mean, we see the heavy edit and the dapple dualies from Champlain. I don't think they've played these kind of weapons before in this set. They really are just pulling out all the stops here, Mizuno.
Hey, I don't blame them. If they want to go out with a bang here, that's great. Starry Sam is going to get a trade? I'm not sure what happened in mid there. I'm going to be so for real, everyone. Some weird trade thing happened. Nonetheless, Cyan is going to come out on top with the blue paint, and they're able to take it through this right side checkpoint, which is a very controversial pick, considering you have to make that awkward jump right through. And oh my goodness, the Rainmaker shield is going to grab a couple picks there, and now it's back into the hands of the Bull Sharks.
I have got my eye on Jupi right now, Mizuno. They have gotten, I think that was 2 picks so far. Make that a 3rd now on Starry Sam. They're coming back up to this bunker to get another pick here. They are not quite successful. And the Zook is going to come out with an amazing assist and coming in and getting that pick for Jupi here. It has been fights back and forth, and because they cracked that checkpoint already, they can just keep the ball going. I mean, we see Cyan here, seems to be their Rainmaker carrier. They're going to go all the way into this pit with this Reed Slider, Mizuno. It's about to be a big push.
Oh my goodness, Champlain Cerulean has awoken with Jupi being a playmaker right now. Cyan somehow sneaking their way through Benadryl's Inkjet, knocking the Rainmaker points down to 25, not quite getting to that podium for the knockout, but securing a very decently sized lead. So if I remember correctly, 25 is at least past the dropping point for heading into plat on that right side. So you can't just willy-nilly, if I were the Bull Sharks, I can't just willy-nilly just drop it on this right side here. Nonetheless, Champlain Splatoon is going to make another attempt. They thought they had an opening, but they're going to get stopped short before this jump here, Grace. And I mean, this is a really good situation here for Champlain Splatoon right now.
Champlain just keeps their aggression up, which really keeps them in such an advantageous position. I mean, their weapons really cater to that as well. I mean, we see that splash, we see all of those, the sodas are going to be coming out from that splatling. I mean, it's just, good lord, Mizuno. They're playing faster than we can commentate over. But as I say, that the Bull Sharks here are going to try to get a really safe checkpoint here with taking the checkpoint that is going to be in their street.
Led the way by Inker. I saw you, Inker, making those calls with that bubble and to indicate to your teammate to come on through. Here comes Inker again, looking to make the drop. Oh my god, Grace, they made it through. You saw those points. They were able to just sneak it through, and they were able to sneak the lead away from Champlain Splatoon. Oh my goodness.
I mean, it was so clear to us on the overhead that no members of Champlain were in their way, stopping them from getting that lead there in that pit. But I think it took a moment for the Bull Sharks to realize that they had no one stopping them. And once they realized that, they just gunned for those points and they got them. We're going to see Champlain here try to follow up off of that. But the paint control from Bull Sharks is really going to stop them here. We see Inker here doing an amazing, I mean, pinch, like flank thing with their junior there. And they're going to get the Rainmaker, Mizuno. I mean, again, this is back and forth like crazy.
Yeah, these teams are not messing around. They are in it to fight for this match, for this set, for grand finals on the horizon. Here comes Champlain Splatoon. They have an opening. Alto's gonna take it with the Rainmaker! With the zooming thing! What is that called? The Seeker! That's what it's called. The curling bomb, not Seeker. That's Splatoon 1. Thank you, Jorian. They were able to sneak it on through. Oh my gosh, Grace, what a comeback.
And again, if you're Bull Sharks here, you have to be thinking to yourself, we did it before, we can do it again. We can get back into their pit while they're unsuspecting, or maybe just brute force our way through it. But the members of Champlain are not going to let them have that chance again. It feels like we see Jupi here up and at him in mid. They're trying to maintain their pain control, not to let Bull Sharks get another chance to get into that pit because they are afraid that they're going to try and get that lead again, Mizuno. I mean, it's 20 seconds remaining. Oh, this is crazy.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, this is crazy, Grace. We're down to the wire. 15 seconds. Anchor is going to get a really nice kill. Make that 2 splats. Now it's just 2 on the bunker here. Jumps are coming in. It's just 1 person left. Able to get the Rainmaker from behind. Cyan coming in from behind to get the wipe. And folks, this is the set. Champlain Splatoon has taken the set.
Oh my lord, Mizuno. When I saw Cyan was the only one left up, I had that like adrenaline rush that you feel when your teammates are saying like, oh my gosh, they're all down, go, go, go. And I felt it like in my bones. I was like, oh my gosh, the Bull Sharks, they're gonna take this. Cyan's behind them. They're not gonna be able to rotate in time to stop the Rainmaker. But they threw a bomb, I think? I think a bomb killed the Rainmaker, and then they popped their Zuka just in time. And then that saved the game. All the members of Bull Sharks were ready to push up, but they didn't think that Cyan could catch up to them, and they did.
Right. Joria, do you have a replay of the last 15 seconds? Here we go.
Oh,
this
yeah.
Is perfect. This is what we need. So Cyan's the last one alive, is sneaking through the bunker. They ignored the jump.
Oh, it was just the Zuka. It was just the Zuka shot. So Cyan Zuka'd from behind. I mean, with the help of Jupi kind of jumping in on them, we see them here on the bunker, and they go down, but they served an amazing distraction to stall that Rainmaker from moving. So Cyan there throws down that bomb to stop that jump, and then Zuka's the Rainmaker gets them. And then the members, I mean, we see Inker here also gets picked off and just can't even pop the Rainmaker in time.
What an incredible finish to this night. We had like a night, Grace.
I feel like I've aged 9 years, Mizuno.
Man. Well, folks, congratulations to Champlain Splatoon Cerulean out of Champlain College in Vermont. You are now making your way to grand finals for Division 5.
I mean,
wow.
Congratulations to Champlain and congratulations to Bull Sharks. I mean, we talked about this before, but all of these players had such amazing moments. I mean, we talked about Inker, Benadryl, Starry, Sam. They all just did so amazing. Like, Alto, Jupi, Sam, Cyan, like, everyone just did so amazingly, even after the very unfortunate maintenance happened, you know.
Right, exactly. And again, the Bull Sharks, I gotta give credit where credit's due. They really took your definition of Crossfire and ran with it for most of that set. They played exceptionally well, and that game was so close. This won't be the last of the Bull Sharks. And as you can see here, folks, live bracket Division 5, we'll have one of our lovely staff members updated here. Maybe not in time for the stream just because it's so late, but with Champlain Splatoon Cerulean taking the crown in the semifinals matchup, they'll be moving on to grand finals to face the winner of the High Riders versus UNM Splatoon matchup. Meanwhile, the show is not over for the Bull Sharks. They will be able to take they'll be able to do, what's it called? Not like not a curtain call, but like, you know, in the show, they come back on an encore. They'll be able to do an encore for 3rd place against the loser of the other semifinals match happening on the other side of the bracket.
Whew. And I mean, if you are going to be Bull Sharks opponents in that 3rd place match, and you watch this, you are either um, horrified at the mini podcast that we had in the middle of the stream, or you are shaking in your boots, quaking, if you will, because the bull sharks are quite a fearsome foe. We saw how coordinated they are. We saw all those amazing plays, those ink jets, those bubbles, those Zukas, just everything. You know, we know that they can walk the walk, Mizuno. So listen, I'm happy to see how they will fare up against their opponent in the third place match.
Indeed. What a great showing for the Bull Sharks. Congratulations as well for making it to semifinals. That's also nothing to sneeze at. Making it to playoffs in these divisions for the CCA League is highly competitive, and you all should be very proud of yourselves and this wonderful performance you put on for all these lovely viewers. And with that being said, I think it's time for us to take our bow, Grace. I think we finally gotta let go and go to bed or something. It's time.
We can finally pop our respective Benadryls. I am very happy to be joined by you as always, Mizuno. It is always a pleasure. But as we are wrapping up, like we said, where can the lovely people find you?
Oh, Grace, thank you so much. You're wonderful. I could have not asked for another person to spend almost an hour and a half just gabbing away at. Gossiping like old hags. It's great, literally. It's like we were having like our own little tea party thing going on. It was very cute. But anyways, folks, you can find me over on Twitter and Twitch, MIZU_in0. But you can most likely find me here on the CCA Splatoon channel. And Grace, where can the good folks at home find you?
Well, you can find me many a times in the swimmer sink help desk, bawling my eyes out. But more normally, you can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Tubnug, which is TUBNUG, and also on the screen.
Man, hopefully not crying too much longer.
Hopefully.
But folks, that's going to do it for us here. One last plug to tune in to the Division 1 extravaganza happening this Friday here on the CCA Splatoon channel. This Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Be on the lookout for additional matches happening between now and then, and as well as this weekend. We have a lot of Splatoon to cover with grand finals and the remaining semifinals matches on the horizon. With that being said, folks, Grace and I are going to pop our Benadryls and go to bed. We're going to call it here. Have yourselves a good night, and we hope to see you in a future CCA stream. Toodles!